Okay, so as I was saying, oh shit, got 20 seconds before commercial. Can you share some of your development art that isn't under NDA so we can get a real good idea of how things work on your side of things? I don't have any development art right now. I am going to show you some stuff that I put together for something else. Um, but the problem is most of the art that I worked on are in games or are on making of DVDs or things like that. They're not, it's not as simple as, do you have a directory of art? I don't, because when I left, as you leave each company, you leave your work there too. You can go in and say, okay, what pieces can I use for my portfolio and stuff like that. But technically, they own the artwork. So when I left, I gave my whole backup of everything that I worked on at Blizzard and the different places back to those companies, and I don't have them. So even the stuff that I show on here, I show stuff that I've pulled off of the internet and stuff like that, because I don't have original copies of a lot of things because they're not mine. They're owned by Blizzard, so I try to keep that. I try to keep that division and ads. Okay. Mm-hmm. So after this, I'm going to show you a thing that I put together for doing Christmas parties in a not at work environment. And it was silly, but we had a lot of fun doing it because we had the whole team on Zoom. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. But we will cover that here in about a minute and a half. Bum 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 bum. Time is it? Is it? Okay, it's almost 2. Yeah, I think we went a little bit too long on some of this stuff, but we will get there after the commercials. Oh, that is understandable, but kind of sucks. Well, it would be amazing to see how the development process works on art side. Kind of peek behind the curtain on how game is made from an artistic standpoint. For the most part, what happens? Oh, well, I keep forgetting that we're. Yeah, we'll get to that. Thor talks about it all his dev work, but he rarely gets to see the artistic process. Yeah, because that's not his part. From the artistic side is being artistic in your life just means that you're coming up with new ideas and stuff like that, and you have the ability to execute them. Like what I'm talking about in regards to what I'm going to show you here in a second is we had a situation that wasn't involving the game we were working on, but involved the team and the people that were on that team, and them not being able to like come together for a Christmas party and stuff like that. So what I did was I made this thing, which is, let me get the right page, which is this. And what this is we were trying to come up with a way to do a a white elephant or Secret Santa type thing on Zoom. So what I invented was this, and what I did for it was I made this panel here. This was me attempting at programming, so it's not the best thing in the world, but it served the purpose as to what we were trying to do. So if I go to my little panel here and say you picked someone pick a number between 1 and 24. We'll do that. We'll do it this way. We'll actually do it kind of the way we did it. Pick a number between 1 and 24. Okay, Papa, if it works, it works. 22. Okay, so you have picked present 22. So I go down here and I click on present 22, and then I update, and it shows the present for number 22. So this is the present in number 22. And then that person says, okay, great. And then that person takes their present, so that present's removed from the board. Now we'll go to one of the second picks. So you see 22 disappeared. The second pick was number 17. So you can see where you could do this like it's a lamp. It's a Formula One lamp. So that person gets that present, and then they can choose to steal the present from before or do another, so they can boom, and then we can take that one away. And so we would just do this. We did this for our Secret Santa, and we had a great time doing it because everybody's like pitching in and laughing and stuff like that. So because this was in the UK, then I'm just going through the numbers you guys are throwing up. So 6, number 2, but you can see where just writing something simple like this can be used to actually use your artistic vent to, what was that? Laugh out loud. Oh, you have to understand that some of the employees were goth-like, so you had to throw some goth stuff in there. So, because we had different producers and stuff. In fact, my main producer helped pick a lot of the presents. So we wanted to make sure that there was enough different kinds that people would want to take or give away or switch up or stuff like that. So here's Hello Kitty Citadels. No, I'm kidding. Just Citadels. But we had ordered what we did was we made the list, and then after we finished going through all this and coming up with everything, then Goblin can't. Okay, I'm surprised all the goblins in chat didn't go straight for 7. Well, 7 did come up. I think we've already done 7. Yeah, we did 7. Yeah. So it was just a thing to bring people together and and bring it in a way that adapts to the situation everybody was in. And it also gave me an opportunity to learn some Photoshop coding. Yeah. Brexit, the coloring book. Yes. Like I said, we were in the UK. Mm-hmm. Too funny. So it's just a simple thing, but it was me on a tangent learning how to program in Photoshop, because it's a script for Photoshop is what this panel is. And then just setting up all the artwork correctly. Oh, let me see if I can open that up so where you can see that a little bit better. Windows. Oh, I thought that was open. So if you look over here, it actually controls the layers. So as we're turning things on and off, turn this one on, you can see where the layer down here became active. And that's all it's doing, is just turning the layers on and off. And as each present is given away, then that present disappears, etc., etc. It's pretty self-explanatory. You guys can see it. Fun cat calendars of 2001, 2021. Answer is always 42. I think Sheldon would say 13. This is 13. Because he could sing Soft Kitty, Warm Kitty to his kitty calendar. So actually 13 does work out quite well for Sheldon. So yeah. So that's things that you could do is not just think about the game you're making, but also think about the people that are working on it with you and their environment and their community. And this is how I did it for that particular team, because it was just fun to do. This is essentially a tiny game in kind of, yeah. Because people would pick things and then they would go and it'd be just like you do at any holiday party where you're like, I want that. Here's a Fortnite Nerf gun. So the producer helped me pick all of the toys and things like that. Bath bombs. Woohoo! With the idea of being okay, we want people to go and try to take things from each other and all that stuff. Poetry for Neanderthals. And it was just like it was an in-office thing, and just so that we had some things to play together. Jaws the board game. I was fascinated by this. I did not know it existed, but I found it quite interesting. I do not have it, and I did not buy it for myself, but somebody did go home with it, as the saying goes. Oh yeah, so you can see the presents are disappearing. This one was roulette shot glasses. I like that idea too. So you can play roulette for shots. I'm curious about is what you think about Fortnite. I've never played Fortnite, so I do not have an opinion on Fortnite. I know that for their first year they struggled a bit, and then they became popular. I think that's kind of cool, as they went back and reworked some stuff, and I guess, and did a good job on it. Oh, this was another one. Is if you picked one with a sad kid, it means that you skip a turn, which I thought was kind of cool. So there's a couple in there that have upset kids because they didn't get the present they wanted. So they would have to pick a present again, or take another turn. So there's a couple in here like that. I think I didn't purposely skip them. Here's one. She was very upset. She didn't get a turn. So yeah, so there are a couple of those, because I thought that you can't have them all be good presents. Because if you got a crying kid, then you could pick something from someone else or pick again, so that you didn't have, so they would then have nothing, and then they'd get a chance to pick again. Yeah, well, I was just looking for crying kids. I wasn't paying too much attention. Then this, which I actually have this is what I ended up with, is I ended up with the Yoda lamp. So yeah, but you can see it's very simple. Even as we're talking, this is basically it. Is we would be playing through, and people would be picking things, and I'd just be running the numbers and doing all this little camera, little cheapy camera. Yeah. But you can see it basically turns layers on and off, and it's pretty simple stuff. But I'm sure there's programmers out there who just go, I could do this in 10 minutes. Yeah, you probably could, but I'm an artist, and I'm not a programmer. These were really good. In fact, the person that ended up with these was really happy about having these. They're finger rings, but they're big finger rings. Like I said, you have to know your people and find presents that fit them. Update. Then this one, which is just the mermaid fins blanket. Oh, imagine scratching your back. Oh, I could imagine it right now so easily. Very stabby. Yes. When you get itchy. Yes, it's very important. Where are we at? We only have a couple more left. There's still crying children out there. There's one. She's very upset, even though she has her Santa hat on. So yeah, so that person would be, okay, you can pick again or steal a package from somebody else. I only got 4 more. Up. What's this one? That's another upset child. who opened an empty box. She's just mad. She didn't get what she wanted. Okay, we got 3 more left. Let's go with number 1. What's in number 1? Exploding Kittens. That's a fun game. That one looks 50% mad and 50% disappointed. Yes. I don't think one would wish for that. That's a cool one. Yeah, Exploding Kittens. I like that game. I was introduced to a lot of different card games when board type card games when we were there. And then let's see, 2 more. So let's go with 20. I don't think there's any more crying children. Oh yeah, the beanie hat. Some of them have to be duds. I mean, I'm sorry, but some of them do. Beanie hat. And the very last one in this particular set is number 10. And number 10 is a small Nintendo. Yeah. It's a small game console you can hold in your hand. And I actually bought 2 of these because I kept one for myself. The hat is the best gift. Cute. Well, that's just it. The point was to have things that everybody would be interested in. So then we would clear the table, and then we would do the thing of, okay, anybody want to steal or anything like that? And then we'd go on. So let's put all the presents back. And it's literally just, okay, I didn't make a deselect all button because I didn't know how. You have to go back and put them in this way. Let's update that so that those go in. All the prints on the top are in. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I'm saying is think about not just the work you're working on, but but the team you're working with and for as well. Oh yeah, there's a whole scripting system for Photoshop. In fact, let me see if I can pull this script up and I can show you kind of what it looks like. Let me see here. Okay, let's go open. What is it called again? It is called Prezzies. Okay. So let me see if I can get this window to come up here. Window capture. We'll take that down and we will go here. Okay, that didn't show anything. Let's click this maybe. No. Oh, no, that's the wrong one. We want, no, that's the wrong one. Oh, here it is. All right. So here's the actual code for it. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So these are us setting up the buttons first. You can see this was 1216. So setting up the buttons, then doing all the item locations, all that stuff. Which thing is in which item slots? So it's a pretty straightforward thing, and then just how to turn them on and off. Let me open that up just a little bit more. And then it would say, okay, Prezzies, which layer, etc. And I had all the name layers numbered. I think it was actually on here too. Yeah, so if you look up here where it says the items, it loads the items based on the item number. And those item numbers are layers within the original Photoshop file. But yeah, there's a whole system for doing that. And then these are our checkboxes. And once you learn how to do one, it's basically copy paste, and then put the locations in so that you're getting them all happy. And then it's basically checking to see whether the checkboxes were checked or not. And then doing the update. Yep. So it's a lot of rinse and repeat. And just for the record, I'm sure a programmer could come in here and say, that whole thing can be an array and it'll be 2 lines. Nope. No, this is, God, what was it called? It was a scripting system that you got off the Adobe website. In fact, you used to be able to get it through the Creative Cloud, but then it disappeared. So I don't know if it's still there, but not how arrays. I know that's not how arrays work. I was being sarcastic, Sparta. Sorry. You know, but I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could take my horrible 420 lines of Java code and turn it into 10. I'm well aware. So yeah, and then it just shows the box. So yeah, there's another one that I want to show you, but I have to update some of it because it doesn't work with the new After Effects, and that is the my banner building script that I wrote, and we will come to that at some point. That's what this one is. Was just this massive mess. This was my masterpiece. It had 3,767 lines of code, and it did amazing things, but it's broken. I think it's because the coordinate system in After Effects changed, but I have to figure that out. Dies in Programma. Not how arrays work. Cough. Yeah, I know. I was being facetious a little bit. So yeah, so this is just my thing for presents. This was the code I wrote for presents, and then the date I wrote it. I didn't realize it was, yeah, it was 4.5 years ago now, or 4 years and 2 months ago now, something like that. But you get the basic idea. Let's go back to Photoshop. No, we don't need 2 of those. This one. Ooh, cool. Look at that. That's like scary. But you can see over here is the names here where, oh, that's a little too far away, but Photoshop is now not happy about being here. So let's exit out of this because that's probably what's causing it to not draw back. Okay, and then pull this up. Yeah, it's not going to let me zoom in, but basically all the item names are named here. And then all the layers are put together here. So if we turn things on and off, they come on and off. Those are the packages. Yeah, all of our presses. And then these are all just the pictures for whatever was, whatever they were winning. It just turns those on and off, but it gives you a little, it's not showing because for some reason Photoshop is now a mess. Oh, I know. I am learning more about this program, and it's because I have to do that. Yes, okay. But as I was saying, like if we go to 8, where's 8? Here's 8. Turn 8 on, that's the present that was in 8. And then if we come down here to 8, then it turns the present off. So, boom. But instead of having to search through all that, we made the panel instead, which is pretty easy to do. Once you, like I said, once I learned the first one, it was just about rinse and repeat. And to run it, you just go to, okay, where am I at? Okay, Oop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Why is it? Sorry, this thing's full screening itself. That just went like all kinds of out of control. All I wanted to show is go to File, go to Scripts, and you say Script, browse scripts, and then pick your script, and then your little panel shows up. You got your panel, you got your script, you're all good. Yeah, cool. Okay, And we're done with that. So let's go back here to our design room. And we are looking at, we're in zombie mode. So it's going to kick us back to that in a second. Photoshop is always unhappy. It kind of is. I think that's a fair point. Yeah. But yeah, so those are the kind of scripts I wrote as I was trying to write tools that would help me, but also help me with different things, whether it was work or whether it was team morale or stuff like that. It didn't matter what it was, but that's why I was saying before is if you're a programmer, if you're an artist, learn some programming, because you can write a bunch of stuff that can help you from an artistic side or a creative side that you would have to wait for a programmer on. And sometimes programmers are way busy because they're trying to do things that nobody's done before, and that's not always easy. Happy kids to unhappy Photoshop. Unhappy kids to unhappy. Yeah, welcome. Just kidding. The unhappy kids were because they picked a bad present. They didn't get the present they wanted. And yes, Photoshop is always unhappy. I love bugs like that. It works, it works. Okay, let's go back to here now. Okay. So, where did we end off yesterday? As we ended off digging through stuff to try to fix or to move things to a spreadsheet. Let me see if I can open the spreadsheet. I'll open a game test 3. I think that's where we were at. Let me see if that's the right one. Okay, so nope, that is not the right one. Boop, 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 boop. I probably didn't even save the right one, did I? Let's go to this one. Finished. Also not the right one. Okay, screwed that up. Let's close that. Oh. This one? This one. Okay. So here's kind of where we were at the end of yesterday. Is we were looking at different ways. I'm trying to get the right page here. Maker. This one I think is the one. Nope, that's not the right one. That is supposed to be. Let's get that page set up real quick anyway, because we're going to need it. Okay, so that puts us in Miro. We're talking about how to clean up our Miro board and start actually using it as pulling it into stuff to actually use it as a design element thing. So the equivalent to this board right here now in Miro, which we probably will be changing at some point anyway, is the equivalent to, let me see if I can pull this one up. Is that the right one? No, that's for the game one. We need to make a new one. Okay, close that because we haven't opened up that yet. Window capture. Correct. And we want this to be this one. Okay, good. Yes, this is the one we want. We do not want it that big. So we're showing how if we take, let me take the logo down. Geez, I'm just like out of it today. Okay. Pull this down here. All right, so they are together. They're close enough together. Because we originally were working in this, and we had created basically this big old thing here. And then I was saying that we have to start transferring this stuff to a actual design doc type file. And in this particular case, I thought it would be good to use Excel for that. And I know that many of the people that know me are going to go, "Oh, he got spreadsheets in there somehow. We knew he would." But my thought was that we could take all the information now we have over here, start transferring it to an encompassing spreadsheet that covers it all, and then have different different tags for, like, this is the family crypt, and this is all the information for the family crypt. We do the same thing here as we go village. We do the village, and then we start transferring all the village stuff into it, which is this stuff over here. So like all of this will need to be put into the village section, which we're going to start doing here in a second. The Year Joy icon looks kind of like something you would find outside a barbershop. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, my friend, at Christmas, I know people like to know that I like t-shirts. So my friend Wilmer, for Christmas, made a t-shirt of me, and that was the logo that he created for it, and I really liked it. So we started using it for the logo for the show. Your Joy, hee hee. We know you're a freak in the sheets. Do you? I missed all of this. Seems like I missed all of this. Seems like maybe, yeah. I mean, I know that you. I think today's the first day I remember seeing you here. So you may have missed it all. You have missed a lot of this. You know, I can do a quick review as we start. In fact, if you go to YouTube, our YouTube channel, there's a link in the About section for Twitch. If you go there, there's a there's a list, a video list called Game Dev, and it actually will walk you through everything, how we got to where we are today. You know, because we've only been doing this part here for about 5.5 weeks. You know, and it was just basically we started with how would you, if you were to start something today, what would you do and what would you use? So and it will go through all that. So if you go over to our YouTube page, you can look up some of the history for this. The VODs, right? Yeah, they're VODs. Some of them are long, some of them are short. The first 3 are very short because they're because we weren't going to do this. I was just giving an example, and it turned into let's make a game, basically. So we are working through that, and we had gone through and created. Let me get take that one down. Keep this one up. And we went through and created our little village here, and our basically all the things that you need. And then we went and let me load this. We load Toby up. It'll just take a second. It's going to do its thing. Actually, what I could do, because it looks like Toby isn't going to load up. Oh, there he is. Wow, that was an interesting delay. Not sure why it delayed, but that was the delay. Game Maker sometimes takes a long time to load up. Come on, Toby. Okay, minimize that. So yeah, this is, let me close those. So this is our game in Game Maker right now. And we've basically just gone in and did the basics. And, oops. Oh, I just screwed up. Stop that. Don't do that. Okay. Oh, good. Oh my God, I thought I screwed up. Sorry, but when I run a build in Game Maker, for some reason it freezes OBS, and I don't know why. But what we can do is this, is I do have one of the, take it a second here to pop up. We do have this. Sorry. See? Don't move that. Move this. We do have this, which is build I did last week of the game that actually does work, and we can go in and walk around our forest and all that. I do have to do a new build because we did put some stuff in. We can go into the clinic, see what the doctors are doing. We can go into Granddad's studio, see what's going on there. Yeah. Go into the village. And yes, the scale's all off on this, and that's where the next generation of this will come through with a much better scale. But we have our stores and our stuff like that, and everything you can go into. We did build it all and put it all together so that you can go into this. The restaurant, of course. I had to get caught up on things, but we go into the boarding house. So yeah, so with our next iteration, because I'm doing a new tutorial on how to use GameMaker, we will actually have things to the same scale, for lack of a better way to put it. It's correct scale, same scale. The mini public attacks. That's a neat transition. That's a transition that was in the tutorial I did. So yeah. The mini panic attacks. Huh? And there's our temple. I set it up like an old church because none of this is final. We were just blocking out. So what I have to learn, and this is what I'm learning in the background here, and we'll be changing this up, is how to talk to people in GameMaker. Because like I said, I don't know GameMaker. I'm learning, and after watching through the 51 episodes of the tutorial that I've started over the weekend, I learned just how much I don't know, and that's a little exciting for me because I get to learn something new, and then I can build games all day long. But yeah, we also have over here across the river, we have a school, but you can't get into the playground because the kids have to be protected from you. I'm kidding. And then here's inside the school. We got some classrooms. And someone gave us the wonderful idea on how to put blackboards up as using the line tool to make blackboards. That was pretty cool. I got the game loop in my game working last night. Cool. I have a few mechanics left to test, but I am near ready to make content. Awesome. It's a blocked in. It's not technically a prototype. It's just a blocking to see if it's a world we want to walk around in. It will probably, when we go to the next phase once I learn the stuff that I'm learning in the new one, that will probably be more of a prototype. The Happy Little Trees. Yeah, the Happy Little Trees came out of our emotes. So Happy Little Trees were born from emotes. But you can go out here and go out to the playground. We're in the playground, and we can eat lunch here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yep. And we can go back inside. And I can get caught up on all this stuff. The principal's office and the nurse's office. You put the nurse's office right next to the cafeteria because they puke there. But yeah, so we got all of our shops and stuff. And this, like I said, the scale's way off, but the prototype, it may turn into a prototype when we get the next thing, because I'm actually going to be using the tile sets that come with that tutorial as a mock-up to mock everything up after this point. But what we've learned basically is that yes, we have a game function, we have all that, but in order to go further, number one, I have to actually use GameMaker correctly, which I am not. I mean, it was enough to get us to where we're at, but there's a lot of things that I've complained about in regards to while we've been building this that are fixed in the new tutorial that I found. So we will be doing that, and then we'll start thinking about artwork and stuff like that. But I need to start putting together dialogues as well. So that's another thing that is going to be neat. I don't think I actually understand the concept of game loop properly. Yeah. Oh, the happy trees. Yeah, we have happy trees and we have happy clouds. I didn't do the parallaxing version of this, so I didn't put the happy clouds in. It's different for each game. Yes. Okay, we're all done there. So that's the basics. So yeah, so in game here, we in here, there's a lot that's going to change. You know, and we're going to be able to build things that make a little more sense because there'll be some basic artwork. I can see if I can actually load Toby 2. Because the only thing that's in it right now is the character, and you'll also see which Toby 2. So this is it right now. The only thing that's really in there is the main character. That's the only thing there. So if we go to, there's really no way to even see him yet. But this is what I'm learning and how I'm starting to set it up, and we'll see how it goes. Can't get no worse, right? But we can click on him maybe. Now we'll have to do it over here. So we'll use this guy here. It'll actually be under objects is what we want to bring him up as. So yeah, it's not gonna let me show him bounce around because if I do a build, it'll crash OBS. So I'm not going to do that. But you can see where I'm at, and we're working through that. So until then, we eat with Toby 1. Load. Yes. Okay, good. Okay. It's a cycle that a player will be performing. For Fortnite, the game loop is menu, start, wait for lobby, drop, loot stage, some fighting, circle shrinks, someone wins, repeat. Yes. Also a very dumbed down version of it, but yeah, there's some subtleties there that are added as you're going. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. Yeah. Thank you for simplifying it, Spada. So for the first part of this, it's find out Granddad's missing. Go and ask people around you if they know where he is. Go into town and ask people there if they know where he is. Discover that he's missing everywhere. Then go look for him. So it's just little loops like that you put in. There's a lot of finesse and stuff like that you put in between those. So because you can also add to that is, yes, you're looking for Grandpa, but the blacksmith, he wants you to go and pick up some, wood for his fire from the forest. So you go and you chop down trees and come back. And then he gives you the information you need while you're doing that. Maybe further in we can put a small fireplace in Grandpa's. Yeah, we can do that. That's silly. Coziness reasons. A rocking chair next to the fireplace. Well, we do have this room up here, and what we can do is we'll mock up your fireplace. So here, we'll grab this, and we will mock up the fireplace. We need to be on the right layer. That's another thing I really screwed up is I didn't put the tile set 1. Okay. Here, we'll put the fireplace here. There's your fireplace. Feel better? One fireplace. I don't have a rocking chair. However, I do have a chair, so we can pretend to be a rocking chair. Grandpa's rocking chair. There. There is, oh, wrong level. Wrong layer. So here, There's his rocking chair next to the fire. Feels cozy already. Okay. So yeah, so what we'll do though is go to tile 0, tile 1, go over here to this one here. You need to grab something up here. Grab this, put this underneath so it's nice and clean. There's your fireplace. One fireplace. And then oh, okay, we can do that too. And a small carpet on the floor. Oops. And a carpet on the floor. There you go. Carpet on the floor. This kind of looks like a bed, but he likes it. By the way, your stream is also really nice for co-working. I got a few hours of low-level product maintenance to do for a shop. I always find it hard to focus on boring stuff, but not being too only one working early really helps. Okay, I need to reread that. By the way, your stream is also nice to have co-working. I got a few hours of low-level product maintenance to do for a shop. I always find it hard to focus on boring stuff, but not being too only one working, not being the only one working really helps. Well, I'm glad. Does Game Maker handle the movement of collision walls? Yeah, there's actually a layer. So if we go to the wall layer, there is a wall. So we'll turn these ones off. So those are our walls. And then this is our teleporter down here. But this right now is the walls inside the building. I took these ones down because I had a bug that I was trying to fix, and I kept being teleported back to the corner up here and couldn't get back into the house to teleport out. So, but it's just you go and get a wall tile and then grab that and put it over there. Oops, grid's not on. So the grid's on. Then grab that, put it over there. Then you can drag it across to there. So yeah, so basically the way Game Maker seems to work, and I'm not an expert, so we have our background, which in this case, there's no background right now. So then there's our first layer tiles, which are our underneath tiles. We have 2 tile layers for the background tiles so that you can layer them. Here's the top layer, which is our basically where our guy walks around in. Then we have all the things that are objects in what they call an instance layer, which is all the things you interact with and things like that. And then the wall layer, which you've seen, and then asset layer, which is, in this particular case, I'm using assets to put names on the room so that we know what they are when we're walking around in the build. So zombie's going to come up here in a second, guys. I literally was a second. Not being the only one. Yeah, I figured that. That's good. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I could help. Ah, yes, physics layers. I actually like the layer system because I'm used to it in Photoshop. And I learned a lot from the new tutorial about how to use those layers really well. Because like, oh, let me wait. I have to wait for the ads. Sorry, I'm waiting for the ads. When are you having fun? Time flies. When you're having fun, time flies. No, we still have time. We still have an hour. We still has hour. We have a minute of ads, and I need some water. Check in on Diggy real quick. I don't even. Interesting. Oh, 43 seconds. Do that real quick. Need some fishies. Here. We back yet? No, 20 seconds. Okay. Sorry, I'm taking care of something in the background here. It's game related, but still needs to be taken care of. Let's come over here and use this up. Okay. 2 seconds. 1, and here we go. We are back. Okay, so back to the question at hand. Okay. Yeah, layers. I really like the fact that Game Maker Studio is layered, because it reminds me a lot of Photoshop and layering in Photoshop. Tiny Devil Games, thank you very much for the follow. Yay. So I'm really digging it. And with the new tutorial I'm doing, it's showing me better ways to use layers. Like one of the things that I found fascinating that he did that was something I was worried about. So when we go to our wall layer, and there's all these objects that we've put together in order to make the walls. My concern is from experience, is just going, wait a minute, if we have this many objects on top of the other objects, are we using too much processor time to is it eating up too much processor time to have that many objects? So what they did, and I thought was really, really cool, and I don't have it set up yet, but they took and made another tile set and assigned just one block to this so that you could paint it on like a tile set, and the collision would come with it. And I thought that was really, really cool, because then technically you're not putting all these blocks on. You're just putting a piece of the tile set on, and then it's bringing that attribute with it. So it's a parent, it's a child of the parent collision block. And I thought that was kind of cool. That's called prefab. Okay. Yeah, another GM dev. Have a follow. Cool. Welcome. When you're having fun. Layers. Yeah, I like the layers part. Like I said, when we first started talking about this idea, it wasn't about actually making anything out of it. So I didn't know. And I had said at the time, I go, look, this is what I would do. It'd be all on paper. And that's what we used the Miro board for. So instead of using paper, we just used Miro to put all of our ideas on. And we came up with a whole bunch of ideas and threw them all up there. And then decided to go further with it, but I didn't have a game engine to use. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do a mock-up in Game Maker. And I did a little 6-part tutorial, and was able to put our little town together here, or put Granddad's house together, and then all those things. I was able to put all this stuff together, and then we were able to go out and build our forest and our town and stuff like that. So this is our town. But now I have to, here's the forest. We have Granddad's hut, which is where we start. We have Granddad's studio. We have all that. So we started putting stuff together in regards to our design page, which we put together on Miro. So you can see everything that's on Miro is on our map right now. And that's funny. I just tried to move it on something else, not on what it was. So this is basically our design that we did completely on Miro before we even went to Game Maker. Now I just have to, because of we're actually continuing with this, I have to do a lot more tutorials, which I'm working on. And we'll be building out this to scale, as opposed to when I threw ours together, it was just, okay, let's just throw this down. This is all I know about Game Maker, so I'm going to throw some stuff out there and see what happens. So yeah, we are not perfect here. Another GM dev. Okay. That's called the famous bucket weed ball strategy. Kind of, yeah. But then it got turned into, okay, well, let's what would be the next step? And for me, once you get all the basics on paper, for me the next step is to build it, and that's kind of where we're at. But I didn't realize that we were going to keep going. So I am prepping myself to keep going. But yeah. But no, but we have our little mock-up and we can walk around in it. But yeah, so right now what we were doing yesterday was we were starting to convert what we have. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that was going to pop up. Let me turn that off. We're starting to convert what we created in Miro into actual documentation. So I started up here because this was where the most writing we've done so far is, which is just all the stuff for the family crypt and the ancestors that are in that crypt. And we turned that into, I think it's this window here. We turned that into this. So if we go to, let me go to that page. It's this one. We go now, this is now in a spreadsheet under family crypt and is cleaned up. And we'll be doing like the village is going to be next and all the different areas that we will do so that when we go back here, like this all needs to now be converted. And I have done a CSV export of this, and it's just a big long file that needs to be put together, and we're doing that. And as we're showing people is sometimes, and this is what the discussion was yesterday, is sometimes you have to stop and do documentation, and that's just the nature of the beast. And it actually is better because then you can like clean it up. Like when I did my book outline, it originally was just me literally putting Post-it notes, which I have millions of them because I really like using Post-it notes. Putting millions of them on the wall, and then writing stuff down and just keep putting them on the wall. And then when you run out of things to write down, then you go back and you sort it and all that stuff. And in the case of the book, the book outline basically then I went back and turned it into chapters. And well, you can't see it all, can you? No. Let's turn this one off. Turn that one off. So this was the book outline that I'm still working on because it takes a long time. Yeah, so this is the whole book outline from all the Post-it notes that I literally put on the wall, and of all the things that I've done from, like, if we start here, this is 1991 is here, then all the way through to when I drove off the lot at Blizzard. Then this is all early childhood stuff. So, but it was just like, okay, just put all the Post-it notes. So the phase we're in now with our game is this phase here, is start to build this out. And so what we'll do is we'll build it out instead of in Miro, we'll build it out in, we'll build it out in Excel. But then we can bring the Excel file, which we did here, back into Miro. So this is all the stuff that's in the thing for that, but and everything's written in there. I'm not really happy with this format, but I may find something better to Hive Minds. Thank you for the follow. We're back at 12 again. Woohoo! So yeah, so all the stuff that were written, there's some cleanup that needs to be done and stuff like that, but because there's some things that in the conversion didn't come over well, so there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done in that area. Okay, Hitlany, thank you very much for the sub. So, but what I was explaining yesterday is this is the boring part, the full, like, going in and like now cleaning it up and turning everything into a document and stuff like that. It's boring, and usually you have different people do different sections of it, but in this particular case, I'm doing it all. So yeah, we will. And so for what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to do some of this conversion to a text file after hours, because I think that it's I don't think it's exciting to watch me basically copy paste a bunch of stuff out of this into a Excel file. So I would find that very boring to watch someone do. So I'm going to do that after hours, and then we can just continue on with some of the other stuff. So let me pull the document up that I had. Okay, where did I put it? Boop-a-doop boop. So I wanted to talk more about the actual story itself for the game, because what we have right now is we've already said we don't know what world it's in. We don't know any of that kind of stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about that a little bit, because we're just saying, okay, what would, if we're going to build something, what would we build it from? You know, it wasn't about a actual ready to go type thing. So let me pull this one. I think it's the correct one. Sorry, I'm pulling documents. So that goes past that. Where are we at here? Back up. Sorry, I'm looking for a specific document here. Okay, so start here. So I started writing stuff out as to what is our story, which, let me pull that back over here. Yeah, okay. And basically, the story follows a young boy who has grown up in a small village in ancient wherever, you know. One day, returns home to find his beloved grandfather has gone missing. Determined to find him, he sets out on a journey to uncover the truth about his grandfather's disappearance. As he begins his search, he discovers that his evil uncle, who owns a large coal mine company just beyond the village, may be involved in his grandfather's disappearance. Ten is determined to confront him, or our characters can determined to confront him, his uncle, and bring his grandfather home. But he knows that he will need to be strong and wise in order to succeed. Determined to gain the strength and wisdom he needs, Chen turns to his ancestors for guidance. Those are the ancestors in the family crypt, which we already put a game idea together for that, where he goes to the family crypt, and all the statues of his ancestors are broken up. So he has to go and find the pieces of the statues and put them back together. And as he puts them back together, they give him wisdom and skill sets and stuff like that. So like Lion's Roar is a skill set that he'd get here. You know, so each of the 9 ancestors will do that. You know, there's also a fountain in the middle that he can we can attach some story stuff to, in regards to being the family, whatever, you know, the family fountain. Yep. So yeah, so we're there. Okay. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay. Each ancestor teaches him a valuable lesson and gives him the ability to level up in strength and wisdom. As he journeys, he encounters many obstacles and enemies, including bandits and corrupt officials, because we have our town hall. We have corrupt officials in there who work for his grandfather or his uncle. You know, he also meets new friends who help him along the way, including a wise monk and a skilled blacksmith. You know, He levels up. He becomes stronger and more skilled in combat. And he also learns valuable lessons about honor, loyalty, and the importance of family. Eventually, he reaches the coal mining company, and confronts his uncle, who reveals that he had kidnapped his grandfather to force him to reveal the location of the family hidden treasure. Our guy fights his uncle and his henchmen, freeing his grandfather and recovering the treasure. So that's the base story. With the help of his ancestors and friends, he is able to bring his grandfather home and restore peace to the village. He decides to use the treasures to help the village and the people who helped him on his journey. The game ends returning to the family tomb, where he thanks his ancestors for their guidance and looks forward to a bright future for himself, his family, and the village. So that's kind of what I started writing up, you know. And we already have like all the dialogue, or not the dialogues, but we have some sample dialogue for the ancestors, you know. So that's kind of cool. And then yeah. But that's basically the elevator pitch for the game, I guess, because someone asked for the elevator pitch the other day. It was either yesterday or Monday, I forget. And I don't have an elevator pitch, but now I kind of wrote something up that kind of feels like an elevator pitch. Yes, the fountain does. The point of the fountain is as he puts together each statue, he'll go to the ancestor will appear as a ghost and lead him to the statue, and then give him whatever blessings that the blessings that ancestor is bestowing on him. Maybe I should write that down, actually. So he gets blessings of the ancestors here. And yes, I cannot spell. I've made that very clear to everybody. So do not be surprised. So yeah, so when we build the crypt, we'll build the crypt originally in the design, we had it as a circular fashion, where the statues were all in a circle around the fountain. And then my thought was that as he gets the blessings from the ancestors, he gets them here. And we'll move this to where it's in front of there like that. It's still not taking that, but that's okay. It's here. And then we can do a really cool thing where the ghost of the ancestor comes from the statue and then goes over to the fountain, and then he walks up to the fountain. And then everybody glows for a little bit, and then he changes. Because one of the triggers we want to do is, as he gets a level from the ancestor, he gets a little bit older. So his sprite will actually change to be, so he's a little bit bigger, because we're starting him out at around 10 years old. So the thought was that he would age as he gets these experiences. I love the voiceover. Some corrupt officials left out. Yeah, they are over there. So well, let me add on here, just so that I know we talked about it before. And ages. He ages and gets a sprite change. Yeah. Ow. That hurt. That's not good. Okay. And ages, sprite change. Oh, that's behind. Okay, let's pull that up. So this is where he gets that. Initial 10-year-olds in Pokemon. Well, I didn't think about it like in Pokemon, but I guess so, sure. But I still have to pick a world. There was something I picked up some art books, not some art books, but some architecture books from a specific time, but I don't know if that's what I want to. I don't know. I need to finish going through the books and see if that's the style that I want. You forgot he's going to have massive growth spurts between 14 and 15. I didn't forget. I'm avoiding Sparta because trust me, when Thor and Loki were between, I would say 13 and 18. Cook Yang, thank you very much. Cookie Rang, thank you very much for the follow. When Thor and Loki were Loki, huh? When Thor and Loki were between, I think it was about 13 to 18, they did two things. They not only ate everything in the house. I mean, if there was food, they ate it. If you drop something on the ground, they were all over it. But they also both grew over 6 feet in that time. So, yeah. What's the brother's name? Loki. Yeah, since he's Thor, we call his brother Loki because his brother's not a public figure and his brother's not out in. His brother's just off and does his own thing, which is great, But he's not a public figure, and I didn't really want to drag him kicking and screaming into the public. So, shot up like a bamboo. Yes, they did. They both did. They both are over 6 feet. I think Loki's a little bit taller. I haven't seen him in a while, so I think he's a little bit taller than Thor. But Thor is anywhere from 6'1" to 6'2" or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, the kids grow, and they grow when you least expect it. At least with my cat, Jack, when I had the orange cat, he would grow in a particular order. So his back end would grow first, and then he would slowly grow forward to his head, and it always made me laugh because he'd have a growth spurt in the back and then slowly grow going forward over the next couple weeks. Yeah, he's somewhere around there. He is somewhere around 5'14", somewhere around there. Now he's about 6. He's 6'1", 6'2", somewhere around there. I haven't measured him since he was 18, so who knows? You look tall too. I'm about 6'1", 6'1" and a half, somewhere there. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, zombies. Zombie caught me off guard. I'm like, whoa. I wasn't expecting him. Yeah. As first growth is an evolutionary masterpiece. Oh, okay. Yeah, he's over 6 feet. I know that. And they both are, because when we talk, I can look them in the eye without having to look up or down. So we're all probably about around the same size, anywhere between 6'1" and 6'3", somewhere in that area. Ads. We have ads. Okay, where are we at? Oh, we're back above 12,000. Awesome. We're at 12,001. Thank you very much, guys, for all the follows. That's awesome. Thank you. Subs are at 76 of 100. Awesome. And bit goal is 880 of 17,000. Awesome. From my side, yes. I mean, their mom was about 5'10", somewhere around there, 5'8", 5'10", I forget. And then I'm over 6 foot. My mom, though, was 4'11", but I was adopted, so it doesn't count. So I don't know, because like everybody in my family were under 5'9", I think, somewhere in there. So yeah, I was taller than my mom when I was 12, which I always thought was funner. I no longer have my sub. Sorry. Oh, okay. No worries, but I appreciate you coming. And we're back. Ads are finished. Yeah, I still haven't worked out this whole how to gift subs or give subs or whatever. I don't know if and I've asked this before, and probably someone answered it, and I probably just forget because I get caught up in other things I'm doing. Is do streamers have an allotment of subs that they can give out, or do they have to buy them like everyone else? Because I don't know. I don't mean that as an elitist question. I'm just means that is I don't know. Oh, okay. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to figure out a way to buy some and give them out. So if your mom was yelling at you, you could just put her on the counter. Technically, yes, but what she used to always say is she said, I can always get on a chair to beat you. And I would always say, and I can always step out of your reach. And then that usually ended poorly for me. Okay, so I do have to buy them. Okay, I'll figure that out. I'll have to see. I'm gonna have to look to see where we're at as far as like financials on this. And is there a percentage of what I'm given that I can use to buy some subs to give out? I think that's the question. Slippers do have aim assist, but she didn't wear slippers a lot. So she wore high heels more than anything else because she was short. I was shorter than my grandma. She raised me till I was in my 20s. Haha. So if your mom was young, yeah. Yeah, I would. She would always just say, like I said, she would say that she would get on a chair, and all you had to do is get out of reach of the Hot Wheels track she was swinging at you, and you're usually okay. Because she loved to beat people with Hot Wheels tracks. That was about the time I stopped playing with Hot Wheels. But that was one of her two favorite things to swing at me, and my brother and sister. Okay, let's come back out of here because we did put that in. So yeah, so I'm going to do all this conversion to text offline and finish it up while I'm still sick. I do have some things that I have to actually leave the house. I've been in the house because I've been sick for the last week and a half or so. And hopefully Saturday I'll be able to get out and do things. That's oddly specific. I have to go to work. Have fun at work. Did you watch Ford versus? Yes, I did. I actually did watch that. I watched that in the UK when I was there. I also watched another one. What was the other one? Because they were trying to get me to understand F1, Formula One. And I did watch a documentary which gave me some of the terminology so I could at least understand what they were talking about. But I'm not a big sports guy, number one, and I just never paid attention to Formula One ever in my lifetime till I was there because they would talk about it in the office every day that Formula One was going on. Mm-hmm. A very nice movie. And you see Cobra a few times. Yeah, the first movie I ever saw the Cobra in was Gumball Rally, way back in the beginning time, starring Michael Sarrazin. He drove a Cobra in that, and that's why I wanted a Cobra. Is because I really like that movie. Car goes vroom. Yep. I do miss my Cobra. I mean, I did have it for 20 years, and I did care about that car a lot. What's my favorite color of the car? The car now, it would be gray, because I really like steel gray. Movie Rush, I think, was very good. That was the one with, with Thor as the race car driver, right? Was Rush? Is that one? Or what was the one with Ford Cobra? Yes, I had a Cobra. We've talked about it before. I had a 1966 AC Cobra. I bought it when StarCraft came out. I bought two things. I bought a house, and I bought a Cobra because I always wanted the fake Thor. LOL. Yes, funny. I seem to remember Rush. That was a good one too. I'm not into sports at all, mostly, but the concept of extreme speeds in games and finding ways to give the feeling of speed intrigues me. Yeah, I can see that. Does make sense. Humans have been trying to go fast since the beginning of time. That's why Oonga got smashed against the wall. No, just kidding. How would you contrast game dev with other dev fields such as web dev? Well, I did learn how to write a website from scratch using a tutorial set called Codemy. Um, uh, there's a really the guy that teaches it online. In fact, it's on YouTube, so you can pull it up and learn it. Is I did learn that from that, and I think there's similarities. My thing is I always want to add a at least something in there that's fun, or something in there that's just intriguing or whatever. That I don't like just going, okay, I'm going to write blah 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 blah. There has to be something cool about it, and that can be done. I mean, like there's some ideas I've had for mobile apps and stuff like that, and I do have I have looked into it and how to do it and that stuff, but I've never made a mobile app for like iPhones or anything like that. But right now I'm going to learn. Sorry, I'm going to learn Game Maker and see what we can do there, so we can make much easier mock-ups of things that we're talking about. Because I realized that if I had done the Game Maker Studio tutorials before, then we would be much farther along in this particular part, because we're kind of behind. I shouldn't ask this, but was the Cobra very expensive at the time? You heard some guy way up in the price. Some do get up in the price. There are some that will get into oh my god money. This one was not. It was, when I first bought it, it was a reasonable price. When I sold it, I had to sell it for the price that I sold it for. It was more emotionally sad about having it go away than what the price was for it, because it was very important to me and I liked it a lot. In fact, we do have one of our emotes is a picture of it. Like, for example, I saw one game that has its music muffled, and then when you accelerate and gain speed, the music becomes more clear. Interesting. Powerful and loud, and that gives you an amazing feeling of intensity and speed. Oh, that's interesting. That is a fascinating way to do it. Yes, I'm thinking, what it makes me think about is when I listen to books, or I listen to YouTubes or anything like that, I always listen to them at double speed. I remember my roommate in the UK used to go, "How can you even understand that?" I go, "Because your brain learns to. Your brain learns to do that." But that's what that reminds me of. But I think the idea of using sound as a part of it, because one of the things that we always thought was important, I used to have conversations with Russell about this, is the game will give you the game, but the music will give you the emotion that you should be feeling at that point in the game. So when you're building your game, also build an emotion map of like, I want the player to feel this here. I want the player to feel that there. I want the player to feel this here. And music is the best way to do that, because you can give that emotion map to your composer or your sound designer and say, here's what I want them to feel, not here's what I want the rhythm to be and all that other stuff. Let them, they're amazing guys. Get them in there to do that. Yeah. So definitely building a emotion map when it's in there. Like when our main character here, when he gets home and he can't find Grandpa, bringing the tone down and the music down to where the player also is included in the sadness of him not knowing where his grandfather is, could be a really strong thing. I get it. The car is basically a piece of racing history. I would be sad. Yeah, I was sad. When I think of the speed, I think of Star Wars. Yeah, the acceleration thing. Yeah. Yeah. Like in the cinema. Yes. You have to think of your game as it's an interactive movie. Put tubular bells for that. You could put tubular bells for that. Interesting. Tubia. Yeah. So, like I said, I have to transfer all this, and we'll do in our Excel sheet. We'll do that. Let me go back to the Excel sheet here. It is, where is it? This one. Turn this back on. Okay, so we have our village. We'll also have one for the forest. And we'll put them kind of in order, where we'll have the forest first because that's where you come into. Family crypt, then the village, then mine. Another cool thing that I saw in the tutorial when I was doing the review of it, because I watched it all the way through to review it before I was going to do it, is it solves the problem we were having with our dungeon maps. Is where I had to go in and by hand put all of the blocks into the. Let me see where it's at. Oh, it's over on this far side, I believe. Yeah, here it is. So when we were doing this, and I had to do it all by hand. Let me move it. It's this button. And we did it all by hand from our background art, which is here's our background art. Is that whole thing about being able to draw it on. One of the tutorials is how to set that up. So I'm actually really looking forward to that because then it means that drawing all this stuff is going to be great, and it's going to be able to put everything in just by literally drawing it in and just following the lines and stuff, as opposed to going in and putting every single block in. I think that's actually kind of cool. To create the emotional value of the music, you can design color schemes. Yes, around that, generally giving a slight blue tint to the screen, but the subconscious reaction, which will make it feel sadder. Yes, the rest is all about the cinematic magic that you do best. Yes, music, I think, is one of the most powerful. Yes, if you want someone to be emotional, turn on the music. You know, I'm notorious for when I'm playing games turning off the music when I'm playing them personally, but because I want to be able to concentrate on what I'm doing, not go through an emotional roller coaster while I'm playing. You know, but color theory is interesting, but you also have to, both with editing, with all that stuff, and color theory. Yes, you need to know color theory, but you also need to know when to break it. Because sometimes true color theory isn't the right thing to do. You know, sometimes breaking it will help cause more trouble. I always use the example of the 180 rule when it comes to filming. Is the 180 rule is you never break the 180-degree line between two people talking. So if I'm talking to someone there, the camera would be over here off my right shoulder, right? If the camera is showing them. So let me put them up here. Here's them. Yeah, there's them. You know, but if they're filming me, it would be over their left shoulder. So they would be here facing back at me. And the reason why, because if you go right shoulder, the brain says that those two people are standing next to each other. They're not standing in front of each other going face to face. So you never break the 180-degree rule in those situations. However, Stanley Kubrick was really, really good at when to break that rule. When he was trying to create not just tension, but an over amount of tension, he would break that rule because it would fuck with your mind. So yes, you have to know the rules of all that stuff. Learn all the rules, but then learn where you can break them to get the emotion and the feel that you want. That is probably one of the strongest things you do. And if you really want to understand that, watch Stanley Kubrick stuff, because he was brilliant at it. Absolutely brilliant at it. But even with art and stuff like that, learn the rules. I'll also use Picasso as an example. Picasso's dad was an art teacher, and Picasso wanted to learn to draw. But his dad was like, you will do it my way, blah, 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 blah. So, and there's documentation on this, so I think I still have the story correct. So what he would do was Picasso's dad would say, okay, draw these pigeon feet. He would basically nail pigeon feet to the canvas and say, when you can draw these pigeon feet, then I will teach you how to draw. So he never drew like a child does. He never got the opportunity to draw like children do. So if you look at his early work, it's all like masterpiece stuff, drawn, painted immensely, well done. You put it against any other artist. But then he said to himself, he goes, I want something different. And he said, and that's, he because he had never drawn like a child, Cubism came out of him learning how to draw like a child. Him learning how to do things not perfect, him learning how to do things. Yes, he knows all the rules, but him learning how to break all those rules, So that's what you do. Know the rules, learn the rules, but then break the rules for the effect that you're looking for. If that makes any sense whatsoever, I kind of got ranty there. You have to learn the rules to know when you're breaking them. Useful bit from my music mentor back in the day. Yeah. You learn the rules, and then when you break them, you can break them for a much more amazing effect. Yeah, you can look up. You just put. In fact, we can do this here. I'll show you this. This will make you laugh. Let's go Windows. Is that the one? Yep. Okay. So we'll just go here, and just so you know that I'm not just making shit up. 180 rule. See, here's the 180 rule. Where you can film by. The 180-degree rule states that two characters or more in a scene should always have the same left-right relationship with each other. The rule dictates that you draw an imaginary line between those two characters or subjects and try to keep your cameras on the same side as the 180-degree line. There's your 180 rule. Plus, it's, like I said, you know the rule. You know that if you break that rule, it's going to make people uncomfortable. Therefore, when you want your audience to be uncomfortable, break that rule. But there's a lot of little things like that. But this is the basic 180 rule. Okay, you can do anything you want on this side of the line. But the second you jump to the other side, you have to have a reason for that. Yes, it does brilliant for psychological thrillers. I think Hitchcock broke it quite a few times in the Norman Bates stuff, the original. But yeah, there's a whole Wikipedia page on it. There you go, whole Wikipedia page on the 180 rule and why it's important. Yeah. See, It's where it was in The Shining. So you can see that, yeah, Kubrick would break the rule quite often, but for a specific reason, not to just break it. That's okay. You can just literally type in, like I just did, just type in 180, the 180 rule. That's all you have to type in. That's what we typed in here. And then as far as that goes, but what the main point, yes, of course it would work in a horror game. You want to use it sparingly when you want your audience or player to be the most uncomfortable. Where did I learn that? I learned that when I used to go to classes at the American Film Institute in LA. When I was working in television, I used to go to classes there. Yes, it's disorienting. It's supposed to be. Yeah. So Devil King, I went to the American Film Institute as for directing classes. God, this is way back. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the girl's name. There was a girl there that I've always had big hair, but she was sitting behind. Oh, it was Linda Gray? No, not Linda Gray. The one from Buck Rogers. She was sitting behind me in one of my directing classes and asked me if I could move because my hair was too big and she couldn't see past because she's kind of smaller. Yeah. And then she became one of my hangout buddies at school. So that was fun. Just a friend. But yeah, so we would talk every time we came in for class, and that was about it. So you could have been a movie director if you weren't a digital artist. You never know. You learn. Just because you learn something doesn't mean you have to do it. My thing there was I was trying to learn more things, and it was important because at the time I was working in television and doing graphics for TV shows and stuff like that. And it was before Silicon and Synapse and before Blizzard. Yeah. So I would sign up and take classes at the American Film Institute. They're a little costly for the time, but now I'm sure that they're 10 times that. But it was definitely worth going and taking and stuff like that and learning. No, I took some classes, not a director. Have never technically directed a movie or anything like that. You met by my hair long. Yes, because I had long hair. And people know Thor by his hair. The Fabio of game. Yeah. He got my color hair with his mom's straightness. My hair is not straight. Will never be straight. But I've had long hair for a very long time. What was your title at Blizzard for? Okay, that's pretty tough because there over 22 years, my title changed a lot. Mm. Who knows what the future has? I think LinkedIn has a pretty close. I think LinkedIn is correct when it comes to what my titles were. That's right. I don't have LinkedIn on this machine because it's locked. It's a isolated machine. Yeah. Yeah, you never know what future has in store. I've taught a lot. What I would suggest is if you want to be a director, or even if you want to make cinematics and stuff like that, I would suggest I just knocked the rabbit off the shelf. That's not fun. I would suggest you getting this book. It's called Film Directing Shot by Shot. Really, really good book. But it has a lot of the. It'll tell you a lot of the concepts. It'll tell you a lot of the things that you have to do in order to make things work and stuff like that. But it's very well written. Isn't your wiki page? I didn't even know I had a wiki page. Do I have a wiki page? That's funny. Isn't your wiki page? I didn't know I had a wiki page. Somebody is writing my wiki page without my knowledge. Did not know there was. You mean like Wikipedia or something? Wait, for certain games, like WoW and things. In regards to, okay, I'm trying to figure out what that's awesome. Blah blah blah. Where did I learn that? I learned that everywhere. You know, you just pay attention. Devil King, you got me a little bit confused. So I'm not sure exactly what you're talking about. I think you are being referenced in games. Oh, I'm referenced in games a lot, but I don't think there's an individual wiki page of me. I don't think one exists. So turn that level off. Oh, if it does, I don't know who runs it. It'd be funny. Let's see. Sun, Blizzard, Twitch, South Park, Age, Wiki. Oh, interesting. Oh, Warcraft Wiki. When did they build a wiki? When did who? Oh, wow. I did not know that there is a wiki page on me on the Warcraft Wiki. Funny. That is very funny. Let's see if it's right. Joey Ray is a former senior product manager at Blizzard Entertainment. He joined in September of 91 when the company was known as Silicon and Synapse and initially worked on Rock and Roll Racing and Lost Vikings. Correct. The rules of a movie screen and the cinematics of a video game are essentially the same. Near Joy, Thor keeps saying you were cinematics director for Blizzard for 22 years. And considering all those cinematics, I say you were a damn good director. Okay, well, I'm not responsible for all the cinematics, and we'll get to that. So let's see what it says here. Let's see. He worked, Paul worked most extensively on video production, helping found the cinematics team and built, and creatively led the machinima team he worked on, 1993. Yeah, I mean, I was the original cinematics person for Warcraft 1 because I was the only 3D artist there. And I did build the Orcs Gate and all the maps that come up in between the scenarios for Warcraft 1. I think it was around StarCraft, is we built or between Diablo 2 and StarCraft, we created the cinematics team. And I was the editor for the cinematics team and also a creative force in there as the editor for cinematics team for, all the way up until Warcraft 3. Then I left the cinematics team and started the video production team, which was, we were making, I would make the behind the scenes DVDs, do all the filming for the behind the scenes, the interviews, all that stuff, and then put together the behind the scenes DVDs for all that stuff. Because I did a mock up of the StarCraft 1's behind the scenes DVD, and then that turned into, okay, well, let's go make those. I did direct and oversaw or oversaw all of the machinima stuff that was made at Blizzard. I made the very first one, which was the Flying Mounts trailer as a proof of concept, and that allowed me to be able to hire Taryn and Tristan and Joanna and Jenny and Brandon. Brandon was my very first employee. And then we created the machinima team, which we pumped out probably 70 or 80 machinima pieces in the next 3 years. And then also did the Wrath of the Lich King in-game piece that most of you saw that played WoW. Who came up with the orc's voice in Warcraft? That was Bill Roper who actually did that voice. Ready to work. Yeah, that's Bill Roper. Bill Roper, who I believe is, I don't think he's at Disney anymore, but I think he's somewhere out there. Those behind the scenes were basically mini documentaries. Yes, they were, and that's what was the whole point. And then I built a team that expanded those, and then we started doing, went back and started doing all the editing again for the cinematics team, as well as doing all the making of stuff and working through all that kind of stuff. So I was a director in the cinematics team, but not the director of cinematics, which I think is, I think it's a wordplay thing. I don't think he means to say that wrong, but he wasn't involved in my day to day and what I was doing there. So, and it wasn't for 22 years because the cinematics team didn't even exist until '98. So, but I don't think he says it incorrectly, maliciously. I think it's just easier because yes, I was the head of people making cinematics and other content for in the video world for Blizzard Entertainment for a lot of years. The second Warcraft, yes, I did a lot of stuff for the second Warcraft. I did all the editing on it, as well as helped teach a lot of the guys that did the 3D, teaching them how to use 3D for Warcraft 2. Peasant voice, I already answered that. That's Bill Roper. Yeah, all the voices in Warcraft 1 and Warcraft 2 were people in the office. There weren't a whole lot of, we weren't in a position yet where we could use major talent. So, yeah. Yeah, we cut a lot of documentaries. Let's see what this is. 1983 created the 3D cinematics for Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, Warcraft 3. Yeah, I was part of all those. Making of DVD for StarCraft, DVD available, collector's editions up through Warlords of Draenor, which is correct. My teams did all of those DVDs, including the Blu-ray versions, which we started there at the end, because like Diablo 3 had a Blu-ray version, which allowed us to make a secret menu in the Diablo 3 DVD. So that was fun. And the menu was based on a T-shirt that the Diablo 3 team had, which was all balloons and stuff, and it was kind of cool. Second Warcraft. I wish my employment was in a field with such broad creative research. Engineering is good. Yeah, you just walked in the room and did them. You know, we walked into Glenn's office and they recorded the voice, and it's like, okay, done. Yeah, because like I think most of all the orcs in 1 and 2, I think were, yeah, they were. I'm trying to remember. I think they were all Bill Roper. Were all the orcs. Now, the archers on the Terran side in War 2, I believe was Glenn Rain, who was, or sorry, Glenn. Oh, not Glenn Rain, not the artist that came later, but Glenn Stafford, the sound guy, was the archer, I believe. He did that voice. And it was literally just you walk in Glenn's office and people would record the voice and then they go on. Whose idea was it for the secret track? It was mine because I thought it was funny. If you mean on the Diablo 3 DVD, making of DVD, that was all me because I thought it was funny. There's a lot of hidden stuff on those DVDs because I thought it was funny. Because if you, in fact, even for that, and I think I showed the video of it somewhere because I couldn't show a DVD at the time, but did I save that video on here? I may not have. I showed how to get to the special menu system in the D3 or Diablo 3. I'm a medieval Mayan. Okay, let's see. We did not get a lot accomplished today from our game standpoint, but that's okay because we're going to have a bit of a lull. Then we're going to come back and make some really cool stuff. So yeah. Yeah, so everybody pitched in. Back then you just did. Everybody did a little bit of everything. You know, I've thought about 3D printing, but what would I make? I mean, I'm like, okay, well, I know at one point there was there was a company that was, if you had a WoW character, you could send them the WoW character and they would 3D print it and send it back to you. I thought that was kind of cool. I don't think there's a movie file in here. Let's see. I don't think I saved it. Nope, I didn't save it. Okay. Yeah, maybe tomorrow I'll dig up the video of how to get to the secret menu in Diablo again. Diablo 3 DVD, the original Diablo 3 DVD. Behind the scenes one. But yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. Even with the StarCraft one, it was a lot of fun because we got let me close that because it's just too bright. Even the StarCraft one, we got some really good things. I know like Matt Shambari had did a really good tutorial on how to use the map editing system and video making system for StarCraft 3 on that DVD, because you can go and make your own cutscenes and stuff in game using in-game assets with their editing system, which I thought was really, really cool. But if you look on the StarCraft 2, I think it's Wings of Liberty, or StarCraft 3, Wings of Liberty, Mashambari does a really, really good job talking about that piece of the game that is just amazing. They did a really, really good job on it. Okay, let's go to, we need to turn some stuff off here. Oh, not me. I've been turned off. Okay, throw this guy back up. If you would like to try 3D printing, I recommend resin printers because they make more detailed prints. Okay. It's not on my list right now, but I'll think about it later, I guess. Not much to do with 3D printing other than make a lot of dust collectors. Maybe. Yeah, apologies if anyone's fallen into the Space Marines mines. I mean, I've thought about 3D printers, but then I think about, okay, what would I do with it? You know, I'd use it to make silly things for the first. No, I do not do Warhammer. I don't do any Warhammer stuff. I thought for the first few, like say, couple weeks, I'd be all enthralled and I would make silly little things and stuff like that, and then I would get bored and I would be moving on to something else. So. The resin printer is the one that has like the pool of liquid in the bottom of them and all that kind of stuff, or you would make neat little fidget toys. Yeah, that'd be about it. I don't think I'd come up with anything else. The tub of resin, yes. Okay, yeah. I don't. That just seems messy. Huh. What is all of this goo? Name the movie. Huh? And prints outside, upside down. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. Ghostbusters 2. Thank you very much, Devil King. That was awesome. You are correct. It was pointed out to me last week that I do a lot of quotes. Just arbitrary quotes out of nowhere. So I think I'm going to turn it into exactly what we just did. Name that movie. If I catch myself doing it, because I don't always catch myself doing it, but if I do, I will say, name that movie. Why am I covered in goo? I personally use an FDM printer because it's cheaper, first of all, less messy. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've never been into 3D printing, so most of my stuff is filming and cameras and lights and things like that, not physical objects. So, okay, let's. It is after 3:30, so we're going to step away from this. We're going to go back to me for a second here. And now, oh, that's funny. That was a good transition. Check that out. Let's do that again, just because I think it's funny. So I gotta sit right in the right spot, and then there you go.